Thanks to Hitsugaya for their support on Patreon!
Holy shit! Hello everyone, and welcome to... it's the spooky season, almost, kind of. Whatever, I got some cheap-ass Halloween sort of lights, and so I put them on in the background, and it's a way to save electricity. So this is a smoke room update, and there's been an update to the save file stuff. In the game folder, it says save slot increased by anxiety. I don't know what that means, but it erased more shit! God damn it. Okay, so this is inevitable. When you're playing games that are in development, it's gonna happen. Doesn't make it any more fucking fun to deal with. So all my Cliff shit is gone. The Murdoch, like, you can tell where it's, like, the wrong size. William is whatever. Nick, here's Nick. I believe this update is for Nick's route. So yeah, there we go. So I don't have to deal with it now, but man, I hate it when this happens. It's just a limitation of the medium. It's no one's fault. Nick tells me that I don't have to get it all the first time, but I can feel the tiger's gaze on me as I flip through the pages, trying my best not to smudge any of the hard black lines. It's a whole lot easier for me to remember something when it interests me. But when nothing's open to interpretation and when there's just wrong and right details, that's when I start to feel the rocks tumble around in my head. I flip these pages until I'm dizzy, and I tell them both I've had enough. I look up into their faces, expecting to see judgment or disappointment, but all I can discern from either of their faces is urgency. Urgency and fear. Nick puts out the light, and the three of us sit for a while, like we were all tired from trying to lift something heavy. Bunks creak as some of the other men in the shack toss and turn, but we don't hear anything wet tonight, thankfully. Sleep well, men. Yao was the first to stand, taking his map as he padded back to the lockers. Tomorrow will be long. Oh, good. So this is going to be another hour-plus long update. Here we go. That was sarcastic. I like short updates, but whatever. I love this game, so more the merrier.
Every day is long, friend.
I stand up too, thinking I should add something, but Nick made himself comfortable, resting supine with his arm behind his head.
Is there something you want to tell me?
I rubbed the back of my neck, feeling the pressure there, and let out a breath of air.
No, not really. Scared I'll fuck up is all.
He shrugs.
Knowing you probably will.
Thanks.
No plan is perfect. We just have to respond well when things get hard. We have to be smooth. Smooth.
We think back to both of our prior experiences with Will and frown. I don't think either of us are smooth, Nick.
Come. God frowns on liars. I'm as smooth as peanut butter, Samuel.
Yeah, chunky peanut butter. Oh yeah, no, you're more like the chunky kind. Haha. Yao returns with a very confused look on his face. What?
It was nothing.
He opens one eye and looks in my direction.
Go to sleep, Samuel.
Well, if you're gonna fuss about it.
If this is fussing, then I will fuss. We won't be here to wake you if you sleep in.
Oh, right. As I climb into my bunk, I remember how we're not supposed to walk together in the morning. I sit in my bed for a while, doing my best to make myself comfortable, fluffing the hard, flat pillow behind my head. Then I think of something else to ask again. They got a cock on a farm nearby to crow to wake us up, or they got a cock on a farm nearby to crow to wake us up, or will it be a pistol shot? But I can already hear his heavy snores from down below.
Just buy an alarm clock.
I'm fucking kidding. So I shut my eyes and try to sleep through it. It's not long before I wake up again. Whole damn chorus of snores meet my ears. Die? Oh god. I blink from that sudden loud vocalization that's still ringing in my ears, and I sit up and look around. The cabin's completely dark and everybody seems like they're either under the covers or behind their shades. Whoever it was, it sounded like a clear, deep, and crisp voice, like nobody I've ever heard before. Was somebody talking in their dreams? Was it just something I had dreamed myself? I don't know. Can't really determine a source of the sound, so I try to close my eyes again. Whoa, okay. Okay. Oh, man.
You all deserve to fucking die.
Oh, God. I'm not good at cool, crisp, deep voices. My eyelids fling open. That one was a yell. Oh, it was a yell. You all deserve. I'm not fucking yelling that. Though that one was a yell so loud it shook the entire cabin. Somebody had to wake up from that. The snoring continues. I feel my heartbeat in my neck as I stare at the ceiling. Whoever it was sounded so angry. I feel like I should be able to recognize a voice like that, but there was nobody in my life came to mind. So am I dreaming it? Some of my clients told me that dreams can happen when you're awake. Maybe this was what was happening to me? I turned my head in the direction of where I thought the noise was coming from, because I still can't see shit. No movement down on the floor either, nor out the window. Oh, whatever. That's not really a whatever moment, is it? Oh, God. I really need to be asleep right now. I don't know. So I shut my eyes again, expecting another shout at ass o'clock in the morning. But it never comes. So relax again and feel myself drift off, finally. Ah, wow. It's Reveille, everyone. Get the fuck up. We're gonna stab people. This really is worse than I thought it would be. Some idiot's playing Reveille on the trumpet. Last night wasn't the worst of the sleep I had had, but I can feel that my body has only just found a way to be cozy, and it was cut short. And for what? For nothing. A brassy bugle that sounded more like it was being blown between a man's ass cheeks than his mouth. Thanks for that visual. Maybe somebody else beside me got fed up and shoved it there. Keep my eyes shut, wanting to catch more sleep, but sheets are rustling all around me and voices around me are getting rowdy. I think I fade in and out of sleep for a while before I feel something big and heavy on my arm shaking me. Oh, sweet Christ! I looked to see a massive pair of brown eyes staring down at me, making me flinch. You have about 5 minutes before you need to get ready. I'm gonna punch you. He shook his head.
Yao and I are leaving now. Notes in the brown tin in the cupboard by the sink are mine. Make sure that you eat.
Pushed his arm off me, and he's gone. Pressure behind my ears is building up again, and my head is throbbing. But eventually, I managed to roll out of the bed. I take Nick's advice and make myself some oats with water from the hot kettle left on the stove. I feel guilty about eating his food. On a jaunty stroll, I'll buy some for him later. That's very nice of you. Whoa! A funny feeling comes over me when I walk this road alone with strangers. Turn the audio way back up so you can actually hear something. I walk this lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Can you tell I haven't done song covers yet? A funny feeling, I already said that. Old memories fill my head. Before, I had Nick to make sure I didn't push myself too hard in the dry heat, or Will to shake his head and smile at me when I did something foolish. I remember nearly crippling myself by letting a minecart slide backwards during a coal haul like it was today. Like it was today? I don't fucking know. I remember what one of my coworkers said. God must want me dead to put me with a man as slow as you. Oh, that's fucked up. Well, maybe he was right. I never saw him again after that. But I didn't need to hear that to know I didn't belong here. Yet here I was, at the mouth of the mine, feeling the wind against me as I followed half a dozen men into the dark. Oh, look. Hey, look, it's a little wolf boy. I just noticed it. The 2 little ears and a nose. There's a wolf. They told me that I should stand in the elevator room. Oh, God, here we go. It was easy enough to find. I couldn't forget that room if I tried. A few other men are standing around, expectant. I don't recognize any of them. Top of the morning, men! The voice I heard wasn't one I expected. It was sunny and boyish. You could also call it manic, too. So my joke was really on fucking note, wasn't it? Oh, jeez. They really put Jacksepticeye in this fucking game, didn't they? Oh, man. Oh, what? A very excitable-looking golden retriever approaches us? This looks like a very tired golden retriever. But okay. Jackseptic dog. I can't believe... Seriously! He looks so fucking tired and, like, Aizawa-ish in his level of putting up with shit. Welcome to the CSGCG... Fuck! Welcome to the CSCG family! If you really wanted to be Jacksepticeye, it'd be like, fucking more grainy, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It does have to be excitable and manic, though. So it's just gonna be whatever comes out, but trust that I'm not trying to do an impression. Okay? Okay? Okay. It didn't even say it was Irish. It did say top of the morning. I'm gonna go with a different accent just in case. If it ever gets said. Well, did it? No, it didn't. Okay. My name's Ben. You can think of me as your guide today for all your newcomers. Just fucking go crazy with it. Just fucking squeaky fuck. He flashes us all a smile and tips his cap. Brief though it may be. Now that I heard him speak, I recognize him as the dog from the stag who got in an argument with the bear. Didn't I give this? What the fuck? I'm not going back to fucking figure out who the hell, what voice I gave that. I'm going with this one. I'm not fucking straggling about this fucking voice here. He looks a lot different when he isn't snarling. Well, y'all are dedicated to the first floor, so if that was mentioned in the debrief, I'll ask you to check in with the foreman on this level. He jerks his head to the building behind us, and all of the men but me waddle in that direction. You Sam Irish fella? You Sam Irish fella? He looks and sounds a bit too familiar to be calling me fella. Reckon so. He clasps me on the shoulder and squeezes. And it looks like you'll be with me, you son of a bitch! Way too overfamiliar. That's redundant. Just me. Out of this new batch, yeah, but don't worry about it. There's always more. He hops into the elevator and it swings beneath his feet. Oh, God, I'd hate that. Well, come in. Both of us at the same time. Damn straight. She's rocky, but she's sturdy. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Oh, God. I try not to look into the wide chasm below as I close the gap between the platform we're standing on and the free swinging elevator. Oof. Where's your stuff? Stuff? He cocks his head and lets out a sharp whine. I'm not doing the whine. Your tools? Or your lunch? Didn't bring none. Dog lets out a loud whistle that echoes below us far longer than I would have liked it to. Let me see what I can manage. That's my through my teeth whistle. I hope it didn't fuck everything up. Hope you had your hooch and hotcakes this morning because this bitch goes deep. So do I. Ben flips a switch and the chain sounds of the elevator ring out as we descend. You got a 30-minute lunch break at noon, but it takes too long. You got a 30-minute lunch break at noon, but it takes too damn long to make your way in and out from this level. So you better learn to be prepared from this day forward, or I promise you'll be sorry. You'll have nobody to blame but yourself if you go hungry. He looks at me as if he expects me to respond to that. But it's true, so I have nothing to add. Where are you from? Been a local for a while now. And before that, East Coast. I'm gonna make Sam the new sudden New York accent. I like to slip into these Echo games. It's an accident, I swear to God. You're not much of a talker or something. I didn't think there was anything wrong with my answers. Not really, no. That's a shame then. You gotta have friends in this kind of work. Probably true. Awful hard to make friends if you don't talk so much or talk so well. Alright. Well, at least you're speaking my language. Dog clicks his tongue and gives me a wink. More than I can say for most around here. Good, he's fucking racist, too. Fits the time. I think you'll do just fine. Thanks. But I don't remember asking. Fade it out! Oh, no, it just got darker. We keep going lower until I feel my ears pop. Then the elevator comes to a stop. What level is this? 3rd! That didn't seem right. But why is it so deep? Well, why shouldn't it be? Ain't most tunnels just stacked right on top of each other? Says who? Says nobody. Just thought that's how it's supposed to be. Well, ain't everything gonna be how you expect? He smiles at me. I wouldn't worry about it. But I think you should worry about the foreman's first impression of you. I'd drop the back talk. I don't mean no rudeness. Oh boy, oh boy. I try to breathe deep, but the air feels thin down here. Just curious is all. Try not to be too curious. There's all sorts of funny smells and sounds down here that can get you hurt or worse if you don't know what you're doing. He taps me on the arm and flicks his head in a way that's a little more familiar than I'd like. What's with this familiarity shit? Let's introduce you to the boss. I noticed that the tunnels on the third level, if this really is the 3rd level anyway, have much shorter ceilings than the top floor. Oof. It's lucky that my head barely doesn't touch the top of the ceiling. But for Nick, it must be a problem. We can barely see the first man that we come across as he hauls a creaky cart by us, and the squeeze against the wall is tight to let him through. He stops when he comes to a cage behind us. My fur prickles when I hear it rattle and squeal from the top of the vertical shaft, scraping as it descends rapidly. You can hear a softer hum drone in the distance. Oh, fucking A. After we make a few turns, we emerge from the cramped tunnels into a bigger chasm with a high ceiling that may be some 80 feet tall. The noise here is a lot. A large spinning wheel at least 3 times my height creaks when it moves. I can see that it connects to a system of moving belts, and that those connect to a compressor that's humming and vibrating. That in turn connects to a bunch of pipes and hoses that can be followed parallel to a set of tracks. And they lead to more sounds of drilling, hammering, picking, and scraping. The tubing is attached to a large mechanical drill sitting on a platform connected to the track. It's hard to tell who's manning it in the dim light. Oh my god, it's Flynn! I'm kidding. When I get a closer look, it's a sturdy-looking Gila monster. Why are you calling him a monster? When he notices us, he takes a look for a second, then redirects his attention to the rock. Seems like he's either really concentrated on this particular job or he's ignoring us. Stay in place so long, waiting for my guide to say something, that I have to shift my weight. Good morning! We're reporting in for day's work, Mr. Moore. Wait a fuck! Yeah, well, there you go, Flynn Moore. It's on the fucking wiki. I don't know why I showed you my phone through the pop filter. Well, hell's bells. This is a ancestor to Flynn, I guess. Either that or it's a remarkable coincidence. Flips off the switch of the machine and takes a look at us.
Beckett's fine.
Beckett Moore. His voice sounds surly and gruff.
This isn't the military, Keys.
Keys? Keys? I don't know.
What do you need?
So I guess Ben Keys. Okay. Briggs asked me to bring our new man to you. Despite how dark it is, I can tell that the lizard is looking at me slowly from top to bottom.
He's not prepared for work. No bag, no hammer, no pick, no nothing. I doubt he even has matches.
I know that I'm not even planning to stay here, but this man is doing a good job of making me feel embarrassed.
The hell is this, Keys? Everybody knows they're supposed to supply their own materials.
The lizard's tone is getting more and more curt with me. I apologize for the inconvenience, sir, but Mr. Hendricks told me that he'd supply those things for me.
Let's suppose for a second that that's true. When?
I'm a little surprised by that question. In fairness, I probably shouldn't be. It's a pretty fair question. Well, he never told me when I'd be getting those things. In all frankness, I'd hoped I'd run into him here, and
He's some kind of joker. This is level 3. Hendricks never comes down here. He's not somebody who likes to get his pressed suits dirty, if you catch my drift.
then I suppose that's a bit of a problem for me.
That's putting it lightly. If you can't work, we can't get things done. And if you can't work, you don't get paid. Nothing personal, but this is a job.
Level 3 might not be the best place for a novice anyhow.
I'll take rookies and experts alike if they can work, Keys. We're undermanned. Maybe he didn't know any better, but if you saw him without equipment, then he shouldn't be down here. You usually know better than that.
Wait, don't blame me for the new fella's mistakes. It's his fault, not mine. Beckett grunts.
If I had to blame anybody, it's probably Hendricks. But all of these setbacks have put us a week behind schedule, and Briggs is pissed. We haven't made much progress on expanding the main shaft or digging deeper, and the exposed veins will be picked dry before long. I'd feel the same way if I were in his shoes. Let's just do our best to put things right. Understood?
Of course, sir. Understood. Gila turns away from us and flips the switch to his machine. I brace myself for the loud chiseling sound again, but all I hear is the click of the switch back and forth. Gila curses under his breath.
Something's wrong with the damn pick again.
He circles the machine.
The compressor hose is secure. There's nothing out of line with the hardware. Must be a problem with the compressor itself. Did Kai say he was having any problems with it today?
Well, Kai wasn't there?
He was supposed to be. That's his assignment today.
Then he missed it.
So who the hell was there, Keys?
I didn't see anybody.
You're supposed to report that, damn it! If there's something wrong with the compressor, then it could be the power, and that could affect the vents.
I just wasn't thinking about that right now.
Jesus Christ, this is dangerous!
I'm not to blame for any of this. Oh, God. Ben's getting mad. Oh, jeez.
I don't give a ghost of a shit about who's to blame. I just need you with me, Keys. Breakdowns like this can cause a lot of problems if we're not on top of them. Where the hell is your head today? Is there a problem?
Oh, God, I made the voices too similar. Fuck. And just like that, my whole body feels a lot lighter when I hear Nick's voice. Perfect fucking time.
Could be. I need to check on some things. I heard you that this one lacks equipment.
He nodded to me.
I have tools to spare. That would be helpful, Mr. Crawl.
Kroll? Nikolai Kroll?
Show this man the ropes. He's on extraction duty with you for today. Unless Mr. Keys has some need of him.
I don't.
And that's one problem solved. Help me investigate the compressor. And wherever Mr. Kai might have went.
Of course. And there they go. Off they fuck. The two of them are gone without so much as giving me a second look. Well, that went as poorly as first impressions could go.
I saw it all.
I want to tell Nick that it feels like this foreman knows I shouldn't be here, but Nick gives me a look that says that there are people everywhere listening.
It's unfortunate that the two-manic rock pick isn't working right now. It's a beautiful piece of technology. But if there are problems with it, the foreman will just have to use his pick and hammer for a while like the rest of us.
So what do the rest of us do exactly? Nick grunts.
In some ways, you're lucky that progress has been slow. Extracting ore is not difficult. You'll have no problem while you are with me for today. But it is hard work, so you're gonna sweat.
I can handle that. For a moment I consider mentioning how that's never bothered him before, but I don't think he would much appreciate it if I said something like that here. But I can't stand the idea of getting grimy for hours on end without grooming myself throughout the day. It's only a week, though. I think I could put up with anything for only a week. I can't put up with almost anything for a minute. The farther we go from the Beckett's site, I don't know, the harder it is to see the heavy machinery and the torches. The light in Nick's lamp is the only guide we have for the moment. How do any of you manage to see down here? The Badger taps his cap. He caps his tap.
I do just fine with this. But before I could afford the lamp, candles mostly.
It's a little bit strange to me.
Strange? How?
I've never seen you without your hat I've never seen you without your hat before when you work. I just assumed you always had it.
Carbide lamps are expensive, my friend. And so is the gas.
Still, it's hard for me to picture you without it on for very long.
That I can agree with. It gives me comfort. Careful.
He lays his big arm across my chest. His headlight shines on a pile of rocks scattered messily on the dirt floor in the end of the mine track where a wide cart sits. I can hear grunts and shuffling of bodies and rocks shattering all around me, but I can barely see anything right in front of me.
Let's find a spot that isn't so crowded.
I want to tell him that I don't mind because I can't even see anybody, but I don't think I should second guess him.
Here's a nice spot. Come.
There's a big outcropping of rock beside a wooden scaffold. It looks like a gray, formless mass until Nick shines his light on the piece, which has streaks that sparkle like the stars in the sky.
If you have not seen one before, this is what a silver vein looks like.
Vein's kind of a strange choice for a name, ain't it?
Strange how?
It's just the word is all. Makes me think about blood, not metal stuck in rocks. And blood pumps. And it's always moving. If you find it in something, it means it's alive.
It is interesting to me how often when we talk, you make me think about your language.
Did I say something dumb again? I hope that's not a bad thing.
Not at all. But vein is a very good word for this occurrence, as a concept. Blood does flow through veins. Water flows through cracks in the earth, carrying mineral sediments with it. Over time, those minerals crystallize, filling the cracks, leaving compounds between the ores. As we dig deeper, we are only following where the water once was. If you do not want to call these deposits veins, you could simply say that we were following the seepage. Seepage. My fucking idiot ass said seepage. Ah!
I don't like that at all, actually. In fact, I hate that. He stares at me.
Seepage, Samuel.
What are you both talking about? I flinch because I can hear Yao's voice before I can see him. He's so quiet when he walks.
Just in time. I was gonna show Sam the ore extraction techniques.
Let me help you then. Those can get dangerous.
He could just jump into it.
This isn't the Philip DeFranco show, stop!
I don't mind a demonstration before trying.
Sure. The tools you have on hand are a pickaxe, a sledgehammer, a spike, matches, and sticks of dynamite.
Picks are for the softer rock and paved gravel.
The rest is for dislodging and breaking apart big deposits.
I can barely see Yao crouch down and rustle with a bag. Comes back into Nick's light holding a long, thick steel spike in his paw. I hold this while Nick embeds it into the rock with one good strong swing. That sounds horrifying! If I don't keep still, he could miss and crush my fingers. He could just miss in general. Oh, God. Excuse me. Nick hefts the sledgehammer behind his back, squeezing the handle, shifts his weight into his swing and pausing in the air just a bit.
Now!
And then he brings it down. Whew! I look away and hear a horrible crunching noise. I think about that Sable's hand, wondering if this is the way he lost it. You can stop looking away now. The spike is in. I open my eyes. The large spike looks like it's several inches deep into the wall. Why would you let him do that? Because he never misses. Look at him smiling.
You can thank my hat. The light beam helps me focus, and the weight of it is just right.
I'm not thanking your hat.
It was just an expression, Samuel.
You say that, but I know you really love that hat. Still, you made it look so easy, but that can't be safe.
You think this is our first time doing this?
The head of the spike is wide enough that the hammer should never come in contact with your fingers if you grab the center.
Once the spike is in, all we have to do is place the dynamite in the cracks, stand back, and let the walls crumble.
So nobody ever gets hurt doing this? We didn't say that. But the two of us have worked together long enough to coordinate our actions.
There are ways to tap it in, but it takes much longer. With more swings, you add more chances to make mistakes.
With all this buildup, there's probably going to be someone that gets their fucking hand crushed. Probably us. Oh, God.
With more swings, you add more chances to make mistakes.
Nick had told me stories about driving steel into rock before. It always sounded exhausting. I didn't understand how risky it was. It's mining, dude. This isn't fucking... Usually the expression is it isn't ballet, but ballet also is extremely difficult and requires extreme precision, athleticism, and a lot of injuries happen. So, like, this isn't... What's a safe thing? Eating Jell-O? You can choke on it. Fuck! If he hurt his or Yao's paw, they'd be out of a job. Nick does this nearly every day from dawn until dusk for less than even what I make.
I want you to hold the spike now, Sam.
What? I know what I heard, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Why? Nick's expression turns stern.
So you know what to do if somebody tells you to do this when we aren't here.
I don't want to hold it.
I understand.
He leans in close to me and whispers,
I do not want you to either, but I cannot always be here. It will look suspicious if we're always together. They will eventually force us apart. That's why I want to prepare you for anything.
Nick pulls the spike out of the rock and places it in my paw. The spike feels warmer than I thought it would be, and Nick's paw lingers there, squeezing mine shut. And he guides it to the surface of the rock.
Remember, grip the center and hold it still.
I nod, squeezing the spike harder than I mean to.
On 3.
He takes a step back.
1.
He hefts the hammer onto his shoulder.
2.
He lifts it I stare up at it. Up at him. The blunt head of the hammer rises above me. It suddenly occurs to me that if Nik wants revenge for what I did to his former co-worker, this would be the easiest way to do it. After all, these sorts of accidents happen all the time. No matter how hard I try, it's impossible to block out this place's damp, dark, damp, earthy smell and Jack's smell. The sharp tang of the iron in his blood and the acrid smell of the shit from his guts filling his pants. 3! I feel a rush of wind and I hear the crunch. Spike's embedded into the rock again and I can let go. I feel a slight tingle in my hands from the force of the blow, but that's all, really. My heart is thumping in my throat.
Good, you let go. You never want to hold on to the spike once it's lodged this far in.
He hammered the spike up to its head in the rock, and pulled the spike out.
And now for the fun part.
He cupped his mouth with his hands and bellowed out behind him.
Blast!
I bit my tongue. Not my tongue, my lip. We hear the shuffling of feet and the rumble of voices from some distance away from us, moving farther away still.
When I say go, we go!
Go where? Ah! To Baskin Robbins! He crouches and rustles with a pack on the floor, then puts the bag on his back, retrieving a thin black capsule with a fuse clasped in his left hand. Then he holds the fuse to his lamplight.
Wait for the hiss.
The fizzy sound of the sparks are unmistakable.
Now you place the dynamite in the hollow spike hole, and you're on!
He seems surprised to see that Yao and I are already a considerable distance away from him, so he breaks into a run to catch up. Yao pulls me by the sleeve around a barrier of rock and scaffolding, tells me to duck to cover my ears. Kaboomski! The blast is louder than any gunshot I've ever heard, and you know shit! I can feel the weight from the explosion briefly in my knees connecting to the ground. We can hear the rocks tumble over one another, and it continues for several minutes as the shattered vein crumbles and collapses, spilling out its sparkling clusters. So now what?
Now we pick up the small pieces and put them in the cart. And we crush the larger pieces with the hammer until they're fit to transport.